The case of the Sodder children remains one of the most perplexing mysteries in American history, involving the disappearance of 5 children after a devastating fire consumed the family's home in Fayetteville, West Virginia, during the early hours of Christmas Day in 1945. The absence of human remains and a series of suspicious events have led to widespread speculation about what truly happened that night. The Sodder family never accepted the official explanation that an electrical fault caused the fire and that their children perished in the flames. They pointed to several strange occurrences before and during the blaze. The ladder used to access the roof was mysteriously missing and later found discarded in a nearby ravine. George's trucks, which had been in perfect working condition the day prior, refused to start when he tried to use them to reach the second-floor windows. And the house's telephone line was not damaged by the fire, but had been deliberately cut. Furthermore, no bones or human remains were discovered in the ashes, a detail experts deemed highly unlikely in a typical house fire. In the aftermath of the fire, Jenny Sodder conducted her own experiments to understand how remains could simply vanish. She burned animal bones at high temperatures, only to find that they never completely disintegrated. This aligned with statements from crematorium workers, who explained that bones typically withstand temperatures far higher than those reached by a house fire. Adding to the mystery, household appliances were found intact in the rubble, further casting doubt on the idea that the blaze could have consumed the children entirely. The Sodders also received reports from witnesses claiming to have seen their missing children. One woman reported seeing them in a car during the fire itself, while another claimed to have served breakfast to 5 children, accompanied by 2 adults at a hotel in South Carolina days later. These accounts fueled the family's belief that their children had been abducted rather than killed in the fire. Despite these leads, local authorities dismissed them, maintaining their stance that as the years passed, the Sodder family became increasingly convinced that the fire was not an accident. George Sodder, a vocal critic of Benito Mussolini and the fascist regime in Italy, suspected that his outspoken political views might have made him a target. Some theorists speculated that the fire was a retaliatory act, orchestrated by the Sicilian mafia, possibly to abduct the children as leverage or punishment. This theory gained traction when witnesses claimed to have seen unfamiliar men lurking near the Sodder home in the days leading up to the fire. Adding to their suspicions, Jenny Sodder received a mysterious letter in 1968 containing a photograph of a young man who bore a striking resemblance to her son Louis, one of the missing children. The back of the photo had a cryptic message written in block letters: Louis Sodder, I love brother Frankie, Ilil boys, A901132 or 35. Despite hiring private investigators to trace the origins of the letter, no definitive answers were ever uncovered. The photograph became one of many haunting reminders of their unresolved tragedy. Desperate for answers, George Sodder traveled across the country following every lead, no matter how tenuous. He visited towns where witnesses claimed to have seen the children and even confronted strangers who resembled his missing sons and daughters. Despite his relentless efforts, each trail eventually went cold. Meanwhile, Jenny Sodder turned their home into a shrine for her lost children, maintaining a garden where the house once stood and keeping their memories alive with photographs and mementos. The family also erected a large billboard along Route 16, displaying photos of the missing children alongside a plea for information. The sign became a local landmark years. It attracted significant attention, with some visitors offering new theories or claiming to have additional evidence. Yet none of these leads brought the Sodders closer to uncovering the truth about what happened on that fateful Christmas Eve. One of the most chilling aspects of the case was the discovery that the house's telephone line had been cut deliberately. Investigators initially believed the fire had damaged the wires, but further inspection revealed that they had been severed from a nearby pole. This revelation deepened the Mystery, as it suggested someone had tampered with the property before or during the fire. Combined with Jenny's memory of hearing a strange thud on the roof that night, possibly a makeshift incendiary device, it became harder to dismiss the idea of foul play. Even decades after the fire, new details occasionally surfaced. A private investigator hired by the Sodders uncovered reports of a man bragging about starting a fire in Fayetteville on Christmas Eve. However, when questioned by authorities, he denied any involvement and no charges were filed. These loose threads only added to the family's frustration, as they felt local law enforcement had failed to properly investigate their claims. For George and Jenny, every unanswered question was a reminder of their children's absence. The Sodder family's determination to uncover the truth never wavered, even as the years turned into decades. Jenny, in particular, remained haunted by the absence of closure. She kept a box filled with newspaper clippings, letters, and photographs related to the case, meticulously reviewing them for any overlooked detail. Her obsession with finding answers became a defining feature of her life, as she refused to accept the idea that her children had simply vanished without explanation. Sylvia Sodder, the youngest child and only surviving sibling who had been inside the house on the night of the fire, carried the weight of her family's tragedy into adulthood. Though she was only 2 years old. At the time, Sylvia grew up hearing every theory and recounting every event tied to that fateful night. She spent her life advocating for justice and continuing her parents' quest for answers. Even in her later years, Sylvia spoke openly about her belief that her siblings had been abducted and hoped that someone, somewhere, would come forward with information to solve the mystery. Despite the passage of time, the Sodder case continued to captivate the public, drawing both amateur sleuths and professional investigators. Many were drawn to the eerie inconsistencies: the missing ladder, the malfunctioning trucks, and the absence of remains in the fire's aftermath. These details painted a picture of something far more sinister than a tragic accident. Some theorized that the children had been kidnapped and raised under new identities, while others speculated about organized crime or even government involvement. The family's billboard became a symbol of their enduring fight for answers, standing tall along Route 16 for over 4 decades. It was updated periodically with new information or pleas for help, but its message remained clear. The Sodders would not rest until they uncovered the truth. When Jenny passed away in 1989, the billboard was finally taken down. By then, it had become a local legend, a haunting reminder of a story that refused to fade into obscurity. Even after the billboard was removed, the mystery of the Sodder children continued to linger in Fayetteville and beyond. True crime enthusiasts and paranormal investigators revisited the case, dissecting every clue and theorizing about what might have happened. Some pointed to the political tensions of the time, suggesting that George's outspoken views against Mussolini had made him a target. Others believed that local corruption or a botched kidnapping attempt explained the strange circumstances surrounding the fire. Sylvia Sodder, the last surviving member of the immediate family, remained steadfast in her belief that her siblings had not died in the fire. She often shared her memories of that night, recounting how her parents scrambled to save everyone and how bizarre it was that no remains were ever found. Until her death in 2021, Sylvia kept the story alive, passing it on to her children and grandchildren in hopes that someone might one day uncover the truth. For her, the case was not just a family tragedy, it was an unresolved injustice. Over the years, the Sodder Children case became a staple of unsolved mystery discussions, appearing in books, documentaries, and podcasts. Its enduring appeal lay in the chilling combination of unanswered questions and the family's relentless pursuit of justice. Theories ranged from plausible to outlandish, with some suggesting that the children had been sold into human trafficking rings or adopted by families under false pretenses. Others speculated about secret government experiments or conspiracies involving powerful figures who wanted George silenced. Despite the countless theories, no concrete evidence ever emerged to definitively explain what happened to Maurice, Martha, Louis, Jenny, and Betty. The lack of closure left a void not only for the Sodder family, but also for those who had become invested in their story. Even as new generations learned about the case, it remained an unsettling reminder of how easily people can disappear and how the truth can be buried beneath layers of intrigue and neglect. One of the most unsettling aspects of the case was how it seemed to resist any definitive resolution. Every lead, no matter how promising, eventually fizzled out. The photograph sent to Jenny in 1968 remained one of the most haunting pieces of evidence. The young man's resemblance to Louis was undeniable, yet no one could trace where the letter had come from or who had sent it. The cryptic message on the back only deepened the mystery, leaving the Sodders to wonder if it was a cruel hoax or a genuine clue. The unanswered questions surrounding the fire itself were equally disturbing. Why had the ladder been moved? Who had cut the phone line? And why had George's trucks, both in perfect working condition the day before, suddenly failed? These details painted a picture of premeditation, yet no suspects were ever identified. For many who studied the case, it seemed clear that someone, or perhaps several people, had gone to great lengths to ensure that night ended in chaos and confusion. For the Sodder family, the lack of cooperation from local authorities was a constant source of frustration. George and Jenny often felt that their concerns were dismissed or outright ignored. The fire chief's claim that no remains were found because the blaze had burned too hot was contradicted by experts, yet no further investigation was conducted. Even the discovery that the phone line had been cut, a clear sign of foul play, failed to prompt any significant action. This inaction led the Sodders to believe that someone in their community might have been involved in covering up the truth. The family also faced criticism and skepticism from some members of the public. While many sympathized with their plight, others accused them of refusing to accept reality or of fabricating details to keep the story alive. These accusations only deepened their resolve to prove that their children had not died in the fire. For George and Jenny, it wasn't just about finding answers. It was about vindicating their family and ensuring that their children's lives weren't reduced to a tragic footnote. As the decades passed, the Sodder family's fight for answers became a symbol of resilience in the face of unimaginable loss. George, who had spent much of his life chasing leads and confronting dead ends, passed away in 1969 without ever knowing the fate of his children. Jenny followed 20 years later, still clinging to the hope that one day the mystery would be solved. For their surviving children, the weight of their parents' unfulfilled quest became a legacy they carried forward. Sylvia, in particular, became the torchbearer for the family's search for truth. Even as she grew older and started a family of her own, she never stopped seeking answers about what happened that night in 1945. She often spoke about her siblings as if they were still alive somewhere, separated by circumstances beyond their control. Her unwavering belief in their survival was both a testament to her love for them and a refusal to accept a narrative that felt incomplete and riddled with inconsistencies. The Sodder Children case eventually transcended its status as a local tragedy, becoming a cautionary tale about the fragility of justice and the mysteries that can linger for generations. True crime enthusiasts continued to revisit the story, dissecting every detail and theorizing about what might have happened. Some believed the children had been taken in an elaborate kidnapping plot, while others speculated that they had been killed and their remains hidden elsewhere. The lack of evidence left room for endless possibilities, each more haunting than the last. Despite the passage of time, the case remained deeply personal for those who had lived through it. For Sylvia's children and grandchildren, the story of their missing relatives was more than just a mystery. It was a family legacy. They grew up hearing about George and Jenny's tireless efforts, about the billboard that stood as a beacon of hope, and about the photograph that hinted at answers just out of reach. Even as decades turned into nearly a century, the Sodder family's determination to uncover the truth never wavered. One of the most enduring aspects of the Sodder Children case is the way it continues to inspire curiosity and debate. Theories about what happened that night range from plausible to fantastical, but none have ever been proven. Some believe the children were abducted and raised under new identities, possibly to protect them from a threat tied to George's political views. Others suggest a darker motive, involving organized crime or human trafficking. The lack of definitive answers has kept the story alive, fueling speculation and keeping the mystery firmly entrenched in American folklore. The billboard may be gone, but its message lives on in the hearts of those who still seek justice for the Sodder family. For many, the case represents more than just an unsolved mystery. It symbolizes the resilience of a family determined to fight against impossible odds. The unanswered questions surrounding that Christmas Eve in 1945 serve as a chilling reminder of how easily truth can be obscured, leaving behind only fragments of a story that refuses to fade. The Sodder Children case also highlights the limitations of mid-20th century investigative techniques. In an era before DNA testing, advanced forensic analysis, and modern communication tools, crucial evidence was often overlooked or mishandled. The fire scene was quickly cleared, and no thorough search for remains or other clues was conducted. Witness testimonies, which could have been pivotal, were either ignored or dismissed without proper follow-up. These gaps in the investigation left the Sodder family to piece together their own version of events, relying on private investigators and their own research. To this day, the story resonates because it taps into a universal fear: the sudden and unexplained loss of loved ones. The idea that 5 children could vanish without a trace is both horrifying and deeply unsettling. It's a mystery that refuses to be forgotten, not just because of its unanswered questions, but because of the human element at its core. A family torn apart by tragedy, clinging to hope against all odds. The Sodder case remains a stark reminder of how some stories never truly end. In the years since the tragedy, the Sodder Children case has become a symbol of unresolved grief and the lengths to which people will go for answers. It's not just the mystery itself that captivates people, but the determination of George and Jenny Sodder to challenge every official explanation and pursue justice on their own terms. Their fight resonates with anyone who has ever felt dismissed or unheard by those in power. The family's refusal to accept the narrative handed to them turned their personal tragedy into a broader commentary on accountability and truth. For true crime enthusiasts, the case remains an enigma that defies easy categorization. It lacks the clear-cut motives or suspects often found in similar stories, leaving room for endless speculation. Was it a kidnapping, an act of vengeance, or something even more sinister? The lack of resolution has turned it into a kind of modern folklore, a story passed down through generations as both a cautionary tale and a puzzle waiting to be solved. Each retelling adds new layers to its legacy, ensuring that the Sodder children will never be forgotten. The Sodder family's unwavering pursuit of the truth left an indelible mark on Fayetteville and beyond. Locals who grew up near the infamous billboard recall the chilling images of the missing children and the bold plea for answers. It served as a constant reminder that justice had not been served. And for some, it became a source of inspiration to never stop questioning official narratives. The billboard may be gone, but its legacy persists in the countless discussions, articles, and documentaries that continue to revisit the case. For Sylvia Sodder's descendants, the mystery remains deeply personal. They've inherited not just the story, but the determination to keep searching for answers. Though decades have passed since that fateful Christmas Eve, the hope of uncovering new evidence or finding someone who knows the truth still burns bright. The Sodder Children case is more than an unsolved mystery. It's a testament to a family's enduring love and their refusal to let their lost loved ones be forgotten. The Sodder Children case has also become a point of fascination for amateur sleuths and internet communities dedicated to solving cold cases. Online forums dissect every detail, from the ladder's mysterious disappearance to the cryptic letter sent decades later. Some users claim to have uncovered new evidence or connections, while others focus on the psychological toll the tragedy must have taken on the Sodder family. These discussions ensure that the case remains alive in public consciousness, even as time continues to blur the edges of its details. What makes the case so haunting is its lack of closure. Unlike other unsolved mysteries, where evidence points to a likely scenario, the Sodder children's fate remains entirely uncertain. Were they abducted? Did they perish in the fire? Or is there an explanation no one has yet considered? This ambiguity is what keeps people invested, drawing them into a story that feels both deeply personal and universally unsettling. It's a reminder that some questions may never be answered, and that sometimes the search for truth is its own form of justice. For many, the Sodder Children case represents a deeper fear, the idea that even in the safety of home, tragedy can strike without warning. The fire that consumed the Sodder house wasn't just a physical event. It became a symbol of how fragile life can be and how quickly everything can change. The unanswered questions surrounding that night only amplify the sense of unease, making the case feel less like a historical event and more like a lingering shadow over those who encounter it. Even today, the story sparks debates about justice, accountability, and the limits of human understanding. It challenges people to consider what they would do if placed in the Sodders' shoes, how far they would go to uncover the truth, and whether they could endure decades of uncertainty. The family's relentless pursuit of answers serves as both an inspiration and a cautionary tale, reminding us that some mysteries refuse to be solved, no matter how much effort is poured into unraveling them. The legacy of the Sodder Children case is as much about the unanswered questions as it is about the family's resilience. George and Jenny's refusal to accept the official explanation set a precedent for families challenging authorities when they feel justice has not been served. Their story resonates with anyone who has ever felt powerless in the face of bureaucracy or silenced by those in positions of power. It's a reminder that sometimes the fight for truth is as important as finding the answers themselves. As new generations learn about the case, it continues to provoke both fascination and unease. The image of 5 children disappearing without a trace is one that lingers, haunting those who try to make sense of it. Theories may come and go, but the core of the story, a family torn apart by tragedy and united by their love, remains timeless. The Sodder Children case endures not just as a mystery, but as a testament to the human spirit's refusal to give up, even in the face of impossible odds. The Sodder family's story also serves as a stark reminder of how easily evidence can be lost and how critical moments in an investigation can define its outcome. If the fire scene had been preserved, if witnesses had been interviewed more thoroughly, or if authorities had taken the family's concerns seriously from the start, perhaps the mystery would have been solved. Instead, those early missteps created a void that has only deepened with time, leaving behind a trail of what-ifs and unanswered questions. For those who study the case today, it's impossible not to feel a sense of frustration. The clues are tantalizing but incomplete, like pieces of a puzzle that refuse to fit together. Each new theory offers a glimmer of hope, only to be overshadowed by the lack of definitive proof. Yet, in many ways, this is what keeps the story alive. The Sodder Children case endures because it taps into something primal, the need to understand and the fear of never knowing. As the years turned into decades, the Sodder Children case transformed from a family tragedy into a cultural phenomenon. It became a symbol of unresolved mysteries and the lengths to which people will go to uncover the truth. The story has inspired countless theories, books, and documentaries, each attempting to piece together the fragments of that fateful night. Yet, despite all the attention, the case remains as elusive as ever, a haunting reminder of how some answers can slip through our fingers. For those closest to the story, the pain of not knowing never truly faded. Sylvia Sodder carried her family's legacy with her until her death in 2021, always hoping that one day someone would come forward with new information. Her children and grandchildren have continued to share the story, ensuring that it remains in the public consciousness. The Sodder Children case is more than an unsolved mystery. It's a testament to a family's love and their refusal to let go of hope, even when faced with impossible odds. The Sodder Children case has become a touchstone for discussions about justice, loss, and the human need for closure. It's a story that resonates across generations, not just because of its unsolved nature, but because of the universal themes it represents. The family's fight for answers mirrors the struggles of countless others who have faced tragedy and refused to accept easy explanations. Their resilience serves as a reminder that even in the darkest moments, hope can endure. For many, the case is a source of both fascination and frustration. The lack of definitive evidence leaves room for endless speculation, but it also underscores the limitations of human understanding. How could 5 children vanish without a trace? Why were so many details ignored or dismissed? These questions continue to haunt those who study the case, ensuring that the Sodder Children mystery remains one of the most compelling and unsettling stories in American history. Even as the Sodder Children case remains unsolved, its impact on true crime culture is undeniable. It has inspired countless amateur sleuths to dig deeper into cold cases, questioning official narratives and exploring alternative theories. The story's mix of tragedy, mystery, and resilience has made it a staple in discussions about the limits of justice and the enduring power of hope. For many, the Sodder family's unwavering determination serves as a reminder that some mysteries are worth pursuing no matter how long it takes. Ultimately, the Sodder Children case is more than just a puzzle. It's a reflection of human perseverance in the face of uncertainty. It's about a family that refused to give up on their loved ones, challenging every obstacle and fighting against time itself. While the answers may never come, the legacy of George, Jenny, and their children lives on, reminding us that even in the absence of closure, love and hope can endure. The Sodder Children case continues to stand as a poignant reminder of how mysteries can linger, shaping the lives of those left behind. It's not just the unanswered questions that make the story so compelling, it's the humanity at its core. The image of George and Jenny tirelessly searching for their children, refusing to let their memories fade, is one that resonates deeply. Their fight wasn't just about finding answers, it was about preserving the dignity and worth of their children's lives. For those who hear the story today, it's impossible not to feel a mix of sorrow and admiration. The Sodder family's resilience in the face of unimaginable loss is both heartbreaking and inspiring. While the truth about what happened that Christmas Eve in 1945 may never be known, the legacy of the Sodder children endures as a testament to love's enduring power, even when faced with the most haunting uncertainties. As the years stretch further away from that fateful night in 1945, the Sodder Children case remains a powerful symbol of perseverance and the unyielding search for truth. It is a story that defies closure, forcing those who encounter it to confront the unsettling reality of unresolved loss. For the Sodder family, their fight was never just about solving a mystery. It was about honoring the lives of Maurice, Martha, Louis, Jenny, and Betty. Their love for their children transcended time, turning their grief into a relentless pursuit of justice. Today, the case serves as a reminder that some questions may never be answered. It challenges us to consider how we cope with uncertainty and how far we are willing to go for those we love. The Sodder family's unwavering determination continues to inspire, proving that even in the face of impossible odds, hope can remain unbroken. Though the truth may forever elude us, the legacy of the Sodder children lives on, etched into history as a testament to resilience and love. The Sodder children case is more than just a mystery. It's a story that has transcended time, captivating generations with its chilling details and profound emotional weight. It reminds us of the fragility of life and the lengths to which people will go to protect and honor their loved ones. For the Sodder family, their journey was one of heartbreak, resilience, and an unshakable belief that the truth was out there, waiting to be uncovered. As we reflect on the case today, it serves as both a cautionary tale and an enduring symbol of hope. The unanswered questions may never find resolution, but the legacy of George, Jenny, and their children remains. Their story continues to inspire those who seek justice in the face of adversity, proving that even when the answers seem out of reach, the pursuit itself is a testament to the enduring power of love and determination. The Sodder children case leaves us with one final, haunting thought. Some mysteries are destined to remain unsolved. Yet, it is the human element, the love, the grief, and the unyielding hope that ensures this story will never truly fade. The Sodder family's relentless pursuit of answers has turned their tragedy into a lasting legacy, one that continues to resonate with anyone who has ever faced loss or uncertainty. Though the billboard is gone and the surviving members of the immediate family have passed on, the story remains alive in the hearts of those who hear it. It serves as a reminder that even in the face of unimaginable odds, love can endure and hope can persist. The Sodder children may be gone, but their memory lives on, a testament to a family's refusal to let go and a mystery that refuses to be forgotten.